What's up, Friday Night Funkiners? We're here with Tama, aka the creator of the FNF Soft mod and lead writer for FNF Neo. So, what's up, Tama? Can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Tama. I'm
Oh my gosh.
Hi, I'm Tama. I am 19. I have a caffeine addiction. That is my main personality trait. And I never learned how to read. That's it. That's the one. That's the take.
So, can you give us like a brief explanation of the soft mod for people who are unfamiliar with it?
So soft mod is a wacky little venture where you follow Benjamin Fairest, aka Soft BF, as he runs away from home in order to pursue his dreams of becoming a painter. Along the way, you find out more and more aspects of his life and what led up to the events going on in soft mod.
Cool. Alright, so I think this is pretty interesting. What exactly inspired the creation of the soft mod?
So think back to like March 2021. I wanted to make a BF just for my own sake of drawing because I was very new to digital art back then. It was just this little doodle of soft BF. My brain kind of hyperfixated on it. And so I started building this little idea in my head, and Colson and I were in a call one night. Originally, some people were gonna draw soft BF over OGBF as like a little skin mod. And I started telling him about this little idea I had in my head about the soft version of boyfriend like running away from home and like how it could correspond with each week. And he's like, dude, that's a good idea, why don't you do it? And I said I couldn't, and he was like, why can't you? And I'm like, I can't make sprites, I don't know how to code, and I don't know how to do music. That's like 3 of the main aspects of modding, especially back then. And he was like, well, there are people willing to help you. And I didn't understand that idea until I started telling people about this idea for a mod I had. And then slowly but surely, I think Driz, the person who made the parent sprites and Monster, we started talking, and then Driz was like, oh, I'll help. And then slowly I started reaching out more, and I started getting people who wanted to help, and eventually like May 3rd we started the soft team.
Cool, May 3rd. Wow, that's actually a really long development.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's...
And then July is where a lot of things just kind of went wrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were in somewhat of a development hell, but I guess what was really nice about creating the soft mod Twitter and slowly like getting my name out there, people are willing to help you, and I made like so many really good friends, and like soft mod would not exist if it wasn't for the homies.
And so do you have like any other like additional insight into the mod that you wanted to mention?
I remember staying up until 5 a.m. every night just drawing and writing and just trying to figure out how I wanted it to go. I guess that was like the big thing, is that we kind of, because we wanted to show how nice something could look while hiding something so serious. What's funny is I was like, hey, if you go look through the past few art pieces I was doodling, you can see like the cigarette burns on Soft BF's neck.
Right, that's interesting how you bring up, on the surface, Soft does look like a kind of cute mod, but it also has so much underneath the surface.
It's primarily based on a personal experience, because back in high school, my friend was going through a real bad divorce between their parents, and I sat down with them and they were just like letting everything out. In order to be like as transparent as I could be, I went into my own story, and I tended to really present myself as an outgoing, friendly person. So when she heard this for the first time, she was like, I would have never guessed. And that sentence kind of stuck with me even till now. And it was the main theme of, I wanted to make people say, I never would have guessed.
Wow. Yeah, I saw like a post on Twitter how Father Fairest was inspired to a degree based upon like your personal experiences. Are you comfortable like sharing the backstory behind that?
Yeah. So Father Fairest was by far the hardest character to work on because it was mentally taxing, and I didn't want to make him because he is so heavily inspired by my own father that it was rough to look at. Like, I think I broke down probably twice while making him. It's just knowing what he did to a character I really care about. People will think it's silly, like, oh, it's just a character. But Soft BF was heavily inspired by my own experiences. And even though I never ran away from home, I never got burned with cigarettes, I went through very similar circumstances with my own father. So I ended up joining a VC with some friends, and I was like, I'm just gonna draw him. So like 30 minutes, I just drew, and I tried not to think about it. And then his design was done, and then it came Monster.
Oh, you're right.
Monster was worse.
Oh my
I
god.
couldn't work on Monster. The monster itself, it's more or less meant to represent how I've described my own father, which is a monster, like, and he represents the plaguing thoughts and trauma.
Oh. Huh. So someone else drew Monster?
Yeah, my friend Link Lingara, him and I were idea bouncing. That was like the first iteration of Monster, where he was gonna have a furnace for a mouth, have smoke kind of coming out of the ears, and just the blue from its mouth and hands is actually meant to interpret it as like the things used to hurt Soft BF, because he was hurt by the hands of his father and the words of his mother. So it's a very metaphorical design, and I think the whole reason he looks more like the dad than the mom is just based on my own experiences. Soft mom, she does not represent my own mother. Some aspects kinda, but for the most part, she's based on one of the other writers' moms. A lot of characters in Soft Mod are based on real people, or like it's less they're based on real people and more real people inspired them. Soft BF has a lot of inspiration from myself. I guess like a lot of the lessons that I've kind of learned in life, like you might be good at one thing, but it doesn't matter if you don't like to do it. Like Soft BF, like is such a fucking amazing singer, but it doesn't make him happy. I'm actually really good with numbers and math, but I don't want to pursue that at all. I don't even know what I want to pursue, but it's not that. But before COVID, I was heavily forced down the path of programming, which programming does bring me joy. It's just not what I want to do with my life. There's also like the chapter 5 speech, which a lot of people were like, oh, that's like very unrealistic for like abuse victims, like, or it's very rare to come across a happy ending in an abuse story, and that's true. But during chapter 5, that speech, that is everything I've ever wanted to say to the person who hurt me. And just because I didn't get a happy ending doesn't mean Soft BF deserves to fall down the same path I did. There needs to be that kind of hope out there, because he's going to be facing other monsters in the future. But for now, he can enjoy the moment. The Spooky Boys, I can't get into it because we elaborate more what they were originally going to be. Their designs were supposed to be a lot more different, and it was supposed to be a lot darker. And we're not going to turn chapter 2 into a very dark thing, but there's going to be new dialogue that shows what Soft Skid and Pump have experienced. GF is based off of a girl I went to high school with. She was this girl, very pretty, had literally everything they could have like ever wanted. She was very sheltered, so she kind of had a weird grasp of reality, and that really conflicted with my too much knowing of reality. This girl had a lot of crushes on boys, and there was like this one experience that inspired chapter 3, and it was like this time where she couldn't understand why this boy didn't like her, and she completely like broke down to me about it. And this was like in a public area, but it's meant to like represent her little grasp of reality because she was sheltered by her parents.
I didn't realize like how much just goes into all the symbolism. I mean, so much thought just has gone into it. I also wanted to ask like if you have anything you want to share about the big chapter 6 update.
Chapter 6, what can I... Yeah, it was like 14, well now it's 15 new songs, redone sprites for the mom and the dad, then chapter 6, which is like a whole other... Like, chapter 6 is insane, and I can't talk about it at all. No one has guessed Senpai right, which is really interesting. I don't think he's gonna be what anyone is expecting. Like, so how softmod characters work is that there'll be like an aspect of the character that will keep, but then just work on that and changing the character. And the same goes for Senpai. You know who Senpai is, but his character has completely evolved, and especially since now he's dating GF.
Cool. So like, I just want to make sure like you don't have any screenshots or like little leaks you want to tease, just information.
Let me check. We could probably blur the image of the mom. She's so freaking pretty. There's the new Munther.
Oh my gosh. Damn, Tama. But do you have a favorite, like, original Soft song?
Oh, like, the thing is, there is no favorite. I like Star-Crossed, and I can't say any of the new songs, but the new songs are like, holy moly. I'd probably say It's Complicated, Genesis, or Envy. And it's complicated because I like what we did. Soft GF's chromatic scale is my chromatic scale. You could hear her voice kind of get higher and stay, but then in It's Complicated, she has that whole little solo and that ending where her voice is completely stressed, and that's meant to mimic when you're really emotional, you have less control of your voice, and she's just singing her heart out. Again, softmod's been around for a long time, so there were plans to get permission to use certain characters that were never used, and Whitty was going to be one of them, but I never asked for permission because softmod wasn't out. There's also plans for potentially soft AGOTI, so there is one that will appear, probably not like the update after double update, but the update after.
Okay. Do you want to give like any sort of hint now, or?
Where she's from? Oh, you know what? I revealed enough. I guess I could say the creator has made a soft version, or not the creator. One of the people who worked on the mod made a soft version of her that is public. I don't know how to explain it.
I guess we could mention like how you were on a Twitter story, right?
Oh, Twitter space with FhantomArcade. That night was insane because like we were just hosting a late night Twitter space. I was scrolling through who was in the Twitter space and I saw FhantomArcade's profile picture, but my dumbass forgot which one was the real one and which one was the parody one. I didn't think the real FhantomArcade would be in my Twitter space. So then after he left, someone was like, hey, did you realize that he was in here? And I was like, wait. So he started hosting a Twitter space. So then I joined his and I'm in there for 20 minutes. Like nothing happens. And then he's like, hey, wait, this person made soft mod. He just generally said he was really proud of us and that we really popped off with it, like that he's seen it everywhere. And it was just a really fun experience. Whenever I feel demotivated, I think back to what he said and I instantly get my motivation back.
How does it feel to be like a prominent member of the community?
It's fucking weird.
It is.
It's really weird. It has its like ups and downs. So like I don't mind. I've been able to make a lot of friends. There's a lot of drama and stuff. I choose not to comment on a lot of it unless I have like an actual experience with someone who's involved. But every community has drama, and especially as a community so new, like a lot of my friends are leaving the community because of the drama. And it makes me really sad, but I didn't want to leave it because I know how good the community can be. So I think a lot of the mod creators, we should just strive to be as like positive and nice as we can be, even in the worst of times.
That's well said. I give you, a lot of props for being like a powerful person within the community. Actually, I guess now would be a good time to ask you your name origin on Twitter.
Oh my god.
Buckle in.
Buckle up. Tamakuchi. For a long time I went down like different variations of Tama. Tamakuchi stuck. I didn't want it to stick. That was the problem. It was always a last resort name, but I always went by Tama. For years I've gone by Tama. Then came Twitter, where all other variations of Tama were taken.
Why Gucci though?
Tamagotchi. It's like a play on words.
Oh.
It's like the dumbest play on words. I used to collect Tamagotchis. I think probably the best part about my name is that when you meet someone with like a longer name on the internet, you'll call them like some shortened version. So 95% of people just call me Tama. But then there's like 5% of people who like will be like, oh, hi Coochie. And I'm like,
how do you respond to that?
I don't know. Okay, wait, I had a question. So
yeah.
Under the extra questions, what did you mean by among them is the alternative soft Pico for week 3? Are you talking about the guy with the glowing gun?
Yeah, the Ghostbuster
That's
guy.
not Pico.
Oh, stop. Bobby.
That is Grief from the anime Panty and Stocking. I will never know why Ren put that in there. There's a lot of Easter eggs. If you look on the icon grid, you can see like a little bit of Tankman. Not enough to actually give you like what we're gonna do with Tankman. We have Tankman planned.
Do you have like a favorite mod besides Soft?
Oh, jeez. Well, I mean, I like Soft is actually not even my favorite mod. I mean, it's my baby. I don't really compare it as a mod to other people. My favorite mod, I love the Monica mod. An underrated mod, which I absolutely love, is Unified Beats. The Big Brother mod made me cry. And my friend's like, well, no one died. And I'm like, I don't care. It's still sad.
Did you play Garcello?
Garcello made me bawl. And the fact that like we played around with the idea of soft Garcello. There are some like potential collabs we're doing with other mods, but I don't know how much I can get into it.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, we're pretty much. I was looking at the questions, and I think we answered all of them except for just your social medias.
Tamaguchi on the Twitter. I might stream on Twitch soon.
God
But like,
effing
oh
damn it.
Jeebus.
Well
Tankman.
played, you little shit.
So thank you again so much, Tama. I messed it up again. Thank you so much, Tama, for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun for the past 3 hours.
Yeah, no problem. That was such an adventure. Yeah, so let us know in the comments what your favorite question Tama was asked, or what you think about the soft mod. And we hope you all have a great day.